Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. Today I am here with Srimati Jaya Row. Jayaji, welcome to P Guru's channel.
Thank you.
Now, a few words about Jaya Row. Srimati Jaya Row is a microbiologist, but for the past several years, she has been involved with this initiative called Vedanta Vision, where she has been touring the world, explaining the philosophy of scientific management, if I might say that, using Vedanta as the bedrock. And I happened to read your website, and one of the things that you say is, quote, Bhagavad Gita, you say, Karmanyevadhikaraste, phaleshu, kadachana, and you have only control over your actions, you don't have any control over its result. Jayaji, why don't you share us with your journey of life, from where you started and how you ended up with Vedanta Vision. And you've been touring United States. Just for our viewers, those of you who are in United States in various countries, we will share towards the end of this video what are the other locations Srimati Jaya is going to be addressing in this trip of hers. So we're back to Jayaji, your background. How did it all start?
I was fortunate to have been exposed to this knowledge in early childhood by my grandparents. And at that time, I didn't understand the impact that it had because I was only all of 7 maybe, or maybe younger. But in teenage years, it kind of came back. And in my early 20s, and alongside my grandfather and my mother would take me to lectures by Swami Chinmayanand, Swami Ranganathanand of Ramakrishna Mission, and so on. And all that together kind of precipitated in my mind to study the subject further. And when I was working in corporate life, I applied some of the principles in my own life and found that they worked very well. And then I understood that other people view Vedanta and the Bhagavad Gita as a sop for old age, as preparation for death, not preparation for life.
Right.
And so I decided to take the plunge and work for spreading this knowledge of Vedanta, sharing my immense benefit that I got with others.
Yesterday I had the pleasure of seeing Jayaji talk about leadership, and this was organized by the Consul General of San Francisco, of India at San Francisco, and she spoke about 11 different aspects or characteristics that a leader should have. And I was particularly struck by one of the things that you observed, which was that all of us can be classified into 3 categories: winners, losers, and potential winners. So I know what you said in the talk yesterday about who is a potential winner. Perhaps you could expand on this one aspect of your talk yesterday.
Yes, in fact, Vedanta says that all of us are potential winners. There is hardly anyone who is labeled as a loser. What we need to do is to use our experiences, gain the knowledge of life and living, the technique of living, and use it judiciously to attain our respective goals. All of us have different goals. Some people want success, some people want excellence in science or sport or whatever. One may be born talented, but however talented you may be, you need to learn the skills, you need to learn the rules of the game. And life is a game. You need to learn the rules of the game before you embark on life. Otherwise you end up scoring a self-goal. And that's what most of us are doing. But you have outstanding examples of, like, say, Abraham Lincoln, who faced all kinds of challenges and yet emerged victorious.
Right, right.
In fact, every successful person has had several heartbreaking failures prior to the success.
In fact, you say that you learn more from your failures than from your successes.
True.
Now, if you look at today's lifestyle, and this is especially aimed at parents and children, what they are going through. Sometimes, being a father of two children, I can understand, or I can relate to this. There's a tremendous pressure to succeed for the children. Sometimes the parents live their dreams through their children. Sometimes the children themselves, they have already charted out that at the time of birth that this is what this child is going to do, and then from their from the waking moment to the time they go to sleep, things are completely programmed. Right or wrong, there is the parents are sort of playing some sort of like a relay race where one child is being taken to some practice, something else going on somewhere else. So in all this stuff, I'm not so sure how much the children, especially those of Indian origin, are able to remember or relate to their heritage. And if you were to place yourself in our shoes, for instance, how would you do this thing differently? Because I know this is not the right way. I mean, I'm sure there is something that is being missed out here. We have a wealth of culture, and that's not exactly really, that's not really permeating down, or it's not getting passed on to the next generation.
Yeah, you see, primarily as parents, we want to vicariously live our ambitions through our kids. And that is the fundamental problem. One must understand that our children are born to us, but they don't belong to us. And they are not identical with us. For instance, a parent may be a doctor, the child may have a talent in music.
Right.
So, just as when a gardener plants a coconut tree, the coconut tree can only, coconut seed, can only grow into a coconut tree. It cannot grow into a mango tree just because you want it to.
Right, right.
Similarly, we are like gardeners. The seed is the child. Our business, our obligation as parents is to provide the right environment, nurture the child, give it the right upbringing that will enable the child to grow into whatever he or she is designed to be, not what we want him to be.
Right, right.
Once we understand that, and once we are aware of how much we can do and how far we can go, and then leave the rest, then you meet with success and you have a wonderful relationship with your children.
Great words of wisdom. Jayaji, this is probably you're still planning on visiting some other places in the United States before you head back to India. Maybe you can share some of the places that you're visiting and dates, so that when this video goes live sometime later the day today, those of the viewers who are watching this may be able to try and make it to some of your events. So why don't you walk us through your itinerary from here on?
Yes. Tomorrow, that is 23rd of April, I go to Los Angeles. And tomorrow itself there are 2 lectures. There are the lectures till Tuesday, 25th April in LA. And then on the 27th and 28th, I have lectures in Austin. 30th till the 2nd of May, I am in Houston. 3rd and 4th May, I am in Atlanta. And then in Virginia, Richmond, Virginia, on the 9th, and the rest of the time in New York, New Jersey, and I return to India on the 12th. All of this is on our website, vedantavision.in or vedantavision.org.
That was wonderful. Thank you so much. I wish you all the success in your visits to all these different places. Readers, the 1.5 hour talk that I listened to yesterday of Srimati Jayaji was one of the best I have heard about leadership, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's not something that I'm saying it just for the sake of saying, because there is so much that we can learn from our heritage and our past, or from our culture, Vedas. And sometimes, this kind of just pointing it where you are, where your challenges lie, and where your answers are. For instance, you mentioned Bhagavad Gita has been your guiding force for all this, and many of us have a copy of Bhagavad Gita at home. How many of us are actually reading it? I'm not saying to read it in Sanskrit, you can read it in English. Most of them have a translation in all different languages. So it's my hope that through this, India can provide leadership to this world. Right now, the world is a troubled place. A lot of people are lost in their identity. And I really hope that, we all can hear what you're saying. Sometimes we hear, but sometimes we don't listen. Hopefully, this would turn into a movement where we understand that inner peace.
Incidentally, this evening at Cupertino, there is my last lecture on overcoming challenges in life. Those of you who are interested are most welcome to come.
So what I will do is, as a part of the end of the lecture, I'll give the links to the site so that somebody can click on where in Cupertino the thing is happening, so that they can make it there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.